Hello, welcome to the Fulhamish Quick Take here on the YouTube channel and Twitter after Fulham's 4-0 defeat to Sheffield United yesterday in the Championship. Not the way that probably we'd have wanted a brilliant season to end, but as the song said, 4-0 up, who gives a fuck? Super Fulham still going up. Leave your comments in below and I'll read a few of them out as we go. This is a little bit unprepared, unfiltered, but we'll see how it is. There's not an awful lot to say after a 4-0 defeat. And look, it is disappointing. And I realised that a lot of us in the crowd yesterday didn't care, and it doesn't matter. It's one of a series of losses towards the end of the season that has taken the gloss off slightly. I don't think there's any debate that Fulham are not the greatest Championship team of all time, because I think ultimately we haven't been as ruthless as you need to be towards the end of the season to kind of break some of those records. And we have broken records, that we've broken 100 goals. Mitro's broke his record, right? We've had some great things that we'll always remember about this season. But performances like yesterday, the Coventry game a few weeks ago, the Derby game before that, are why that we're not going down as an all-time Championship team, because 90 points is actually not that special when you break it down. Bournemouth finishing 2 points behind us, given the season that they've had, I think says everything really about where we are as a team in comparison to the rest of this league. Now, in reality, I do think this team has been 6 or 7 points better than maybe the points total has suggested, but we still lost 10 games. I don't see any worries going forward for next season. And with regards to yesterday, it was a second choice team, wasn't it? Paulo Gazzaniga played in goal, didn't impress. Michael Hector came in at centre-back, really didn't impress. Chalobah came in the middle and got injured after a little while, and really all over the pitch. Whilst it was mostly first teamers, other than that, it still was just a meek performance against a Sheffield United that had everything to play for, who were brilliant, by the way. In the first half, they absolutely blew us away, and if they keep up that form, they won't be easy to stop in the playoffs. That game they've got against Nottingham Forest is absolutely huge, and if they keep up that atmosphere at Bramall Lane, it could be all over in the first leg. They were sensational, but we were the master of our own downfall. Seri's slip for the second goal, I think, really just took the game away from us. And I don't think we were realistically ever coming back from 2 down. If it was 1-0, if it had stayed 1-0 into the second half, and maybe the team would have had the sniff of a point and some good celebrations at the away end, I do think maybe it could have been a different game. But as soon as it's 2-0 against a side that needed to win to secure the playoffs and to secure 5th place for themselves, it was always a tough order. It was probably not the game we really wanted as the final match of the season. Probably for us, a nice mid-table team away from home would have been perfect. And I think the lads would have been a bit more up for it. But they knew yesterday they were on a hiding to nothing against a very good team. A team that, as Jack said in a recent podcast, probably the second best team in the league. Like, if you break it down, if they'd have had their season all the way through, some of their players that they've got there, Sandra Berge in the midfield is an absolute Rolls Royce. Morgan Gibbs-White is a fantastic player. They've got a brilliant, brilliant team. And look, played terribly under Slav in the first part of the season and haven't quite been consistent enough in the second part of the season to mount a realistic top 2 push. But if they'd have had Heckingbottom from the first day, I think they would have been right up there, and they were tipped to be right up there as well. They were a Premier League team last year. And also Bramall Lane was bouncing yesterday. If there's any Sheffield United fans watching this, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. The atmosphere was brilliant. I thought the Fulham fans were good value too. I thought there was a lot of gallows humour, and I think we were there for a party. But what a wonderful stadium. What a wonderful stadium. Old school, well built, so much nicer than Hillsborough, if you're asking me. And nice and close to the city centre. Had a wonderful time in Sheffield on Friday night. So if there are any Sheffield United fans watching, I loved it. I'm fully bought in, and good luck in the playoffs as well. And I think you enjoyed our "We've got the ball, we've lost the ball" chant for the last 10 minutes. I could see a few of the fans to our right hand side enjoying themselves and thinking that. And I think he even joined in at one point. As for the rest of the game, I thought it was lovely that Fulham got a guard of honour. That was really, really nice to see. I never imagined ever watching Fulham get a guard of honour at a match. That was quite interesting. And second half, I thought we grew into it. I thought we could have been worthy of a goal. Rodrigo Muniz came quite close. I thought he was all right when he came on. And also we looked half decent. I mean, we were 4-0 down. It's quite easy to look good, I think, when you're 4-0 down. The other Sheffield United taking their foot off the gas, probably one eye on. They knew they'd secured the playoffs. Why risk injury for what was a massive game in a week's time against Nottingham Forest? So neither team really cared. I think Fulham were looking to try and maybe get a goal in front of their fans, restore a bit of pride. I think Neeskens Cabano hit the post as well. And Marcus Silva said it, like we came out second half and we did actually play some nice football. But when you're 4-0 down and the other team are saving themselves for a playoff, there's not really a lot to say. Trevor Stannard, we need a new keeper. Yeah, Gazzaniga, not good enough yesterday. And actually, Gazzaniga's blushes were saved by the fact it could have been 5-0, where he just dropped a corner straight into the Sheffield United forward. I think it was in Dye. Thank God it was offside, because that was a real clanger. I don't think Marek Rodak might have to worry about his place from another keeper from outside, but I don't think Gazzaniga is going to be that worry at all. But look, for me, Gazzaniga is a good number 2. I don't massively have a problem if he is our number 2 next season. Yesterday wasn't great, but in fairness, when the defence players they did in front of him, I'm not 100% sure there was tons he could have done for all the goals. I wasn't impressed with his performance generally, but I mean, the header, not his fault, right into the corner. The second goal was a slip. The third goal, I mean, I'm starting to generally forget what the goals were. The only one I actually didn't see, and I still haven't seen, the Sheffield United's fourth goal. I was still in the concourse, as were thousands, and I haven't gone to watch the highlights of this game, as you can probably understand. So maybe the fourth goal was a complete Gazzaniga clagger. So I'll have to watch that back and see. And John Stonewig, we seem lightweight as a team. Yeah, it was quite lightweight yesterday. And I saw some criticism. You know, I saw someone say about it was a disgrace how Marco treated the match and the fact we partied all week. And I was kind of surprised in some ways that Marcus Silva didn't say to the lads, one more game, we've got to finish the season on a high. We, go to the end, and we were paintballing on Tuesday and out on Tuesday. I'm not saying I disagree. I would have done the same if I was in their position. I'd have wanted to go out. I'd have seen the job as done, and I'd have wanted to have a good time, particularly after winning 7-0 and every record was broken. There was nothing to play for yesterday. Mitrovic didn't have to break the record either. But I actually thought that Marcus Silva would have been a bit more focused on yesterday's game and would have just literally said, lads, wait 6 days and you can have the party of your lives. Just get the final game out of the way. But he didn't, and it doesn't matter for next season. It doesn't matter for next season that Bournemouth finished 2 points behind us. It matters that we were champions. I think that's really important as a statement. No one goes, oh, that's the Fulham team that came up. Yeah, they finished top. They actually only got 90 points. No one says that or cares. I think you just have to put it into perspective. Yes, it was slightly frustrating the way that it all happened. And I can understand those that, made a long trip to Sheffield yesterday and were a bit annoyed with the performance that was put in. I was with a guy called Pierce. It was his first away day of the season. He came over from Ireland especially. And I felt a bit sorry for him, right? I've been to 15 away games this year. Losing Sheffield United 4-0 was not a big deal. But if it was your first of the season, or maybe you took kids or whatever, it is disappointing to see such a half-assed effort. But no one will mind next August when we're away in the Premier League and we're back in the top flight and hopefully competing, because I do think it's possible for us to compete next year. A couple more comments before I go. Tosin is so important for our defence next year. Matthew Haynes, yesterday outlined it. I missed him so much. And just not only his defensive work as well, but the way that he's able to spread the ball forward. Michael Hector's passing was pretty ropey at times yesterday, although he did do a nice through ball for Fabio Carvalho, which he should have done better with. And I think that was only at 1-0 or 2-0, which would have got us back into the match, and Fabio just slightly miscontrolled it. But yeah, Rolls Royce of a player, Tosin, and anyone that says that he shouldn't be in our defence next year, I just think needs to give their head a little bit of a wobble, because he is Premier League quality. He is going to be the bedrock at which our spine next year is built on. Tosin Adarabioyo, missed you yesterday, but no doubt he'll be back. The atmosphere was brilliant yesterday. We've lost the ball. Result was always going to be secondary. Surprised how poor we were, though. My thoughts entirely. Atmosphere was great. The result didn't really matter. I didn't quite think we'd be that bad. I didn't quite think we'd surrender so badly. And look, do you know one thing I was really glad about? 4-0's not that embarrassing. Starts getting 5-6, and it could have. That would have been really taking the gloss off. I mean, there would have been something quite poetic if we'd have become surely the first team ever to win 7-0, then lose 7-0 in the next game. If anyone could find statistics of a team that's ever done that before, I'm pretty sure there's no scenario where that's ever happened, but I'm sure somewhere in Tonga in the 90s, that result might have happened. One last thing, Fabio Carvalho, final game. He was very emotional at the end as the fans sung his name. What a player he's been, what a professional he's been as well, since it's been quite obvious he's not staying. He has not dropped his performance levels. He was even good yesterday. I wish him all the best. I'd love him back on loan, even if that is possible. There's all this talk about Premier League rules and whether you can have a player back from the Premier League. It's a grey area when you leave on a free, but not a free. I don't know. I wish him all the best of luck. It's been a joy to watch him. And if that is the last time we see Tim Ream, probably not the way he'd wanted to go out shipping for, but what a wonderful servant he's been as well for the club. And all I know is we probably won't see him much in the first team next year, but he's played all 46 games this season and been a fantastic role model on and off the pitch. And thank you to the Fulham team for a wonderful season. Yes, yesterday wasn't how it was supposed to be, but we've had so much fun, the season of our lives. And look, I think that we won't see a season like this ever again. It's been so nice to follow the team up and down the country, and I think the fans have been magnificent. So enjoy your summer break. This will be the final quick take of the season, as of course you'll imagine. Can't wait though to get the ball rolling in August for some Premier League quick takes here on the YouTube channel. Still plenty of content now on YouTube over the summer. We've got some really fun ideas, which hopefully you guys will love. Lots of reaction to all the transfers that come in and out. And there'll be a podcast out later today with George Cooper hosting. So have a brilliant rest of your weekend. We're Premier League, we're champions. Come on, you Whites.